Hi, I'm Scott Goldthorpe, and today I will be presenting about a Giving Voice to Values case entitled The Gateway Hospital. And in this case, there are two main individuals, Kristen, who is an employee of a healthcare company, and her supervisor, Troy. And they are to attend a conference in Florida, which is a business-related conference. And this conference goes on at the same time that Troy's children have spring break. So he decides to bring his wife, his children, to go see SeaWorld and Disneyland, and other sites down there. And they end up staying one extra night in Florida. And when they get back, Troy's wife convinces Troy to include some of their personal expenses that the extra night they stayed down there as business expenses so that they could be reimbursed. And Kristen gets approached by Joyce, the head of the accounting department, about why she had not requested an extra night stay to be reimbursed, while Troy requested to be reimbursed for all the nights that they stayed down there. And so Kristen is put into the situation where she could lie to Joyce and say that he has some extra meetings to go to or something similar to that. But she decides to respond to Joyce later on that day. And she goes to talk to Troy about this. And this is what we need to analyze. What will she do in this case? And so we need to think about what are some of the arguments or rationalizations that Troy will give to Kristen. And a few that I thought of was that Troy might say that he needs to provide for his family and the trip costs too much money. Or he might say that the company always has him travel and he's always gone with his family, and so this was just a chance for him to spend more time with his family. Or he might say that he's not being compensated enough where he works currently. And we also need to consider what is at stake here. And I think there's two main points that are at stake with the situation. Is number one, if Kristen tells Joyce about this without talking to Troy first, Troy might lose his job. Joyce might go to the upper management, tell him what happened, and that could result in letting Troy go from work. And Kristen might lose the trust of Troy if she kind of undercuts him without confronting him first and letting him know what he should do. And another thing that needs to be considered here is what might Kristen leverage when she goes into there? What might she talk about? I think first off she needs to approach him in a soft manner and bring up the importance of honesty and integrity and what he is jeopardizing by including these expenses as personal expenses. So what I think she should do when she responds to him, when he says that his family, or when he gives his argument of why he included those expenses as business expenses, I think she should approach him in a private situation, a private setting, and talk about what the consequences could come as a result of the actions he took. How the small things that he does now, even though those expenses he included as business expenses are probably immaterial to the hotel, but this could result in him doing this in the future and resulting in a lot bigger situation going forward if this escalates, if he keeps doing it. And so it's good for it to be taken care of, to to have Kristen approach him to talk about it. And then if it doesn't get situated with Troy, Kristen should go to her superiors, tell her what happened so it gets situated, and that it gets worked out. And that's why I think about this case, and it's good for all of us to consider this, these questions to go through, to analyze when we were put in situations similar to this.